Hi everybody, my name is Ron Cantor and you're watching Out of Zion on God TV. And today I'm sitting with one of my spiritual fathers. In fact, I've probably learned more about leadership and Messianic Judaism from Dan Juster than anybody else. Welcome, Dan. It's so good to have you here.
Wonderful to be with you, Ron.
Now, Dan, you wrote a book many years ago called Jewish Roots. That book has been translated into other languages. It's gone around the world. You are the guy to answer anyone's objection to Messianic Judaism. Because sometimes people say to us as Jewish believers, why do you have to still be Jewish? Just convert, become a Christian, and forget the whole Jewish thing. But you don't agree with that.
Yes, when I first came into Jewish ministry, I had those thoughts myself. But then as I studied the scriptures more intently, I realized that Jewish believers in Jesus are the saved remnant of Israel, and they are actually the sign that the rest of the nation will come to know Jesus someday.
In other words, if every Jewish believer leaves their Jewish heritage and culture, then there is no saved remnant.
Right, then they become former Jews, and they don't become the first fruits of the Jewish people, as Romans 11:16 says.
Okay, Galatians 3:28 says there is neither Jew nor Greek, male nor female, slave or free. A lot of people use that to say there is no such thing as a Jew anymore.
Sure, because Galatians is not talking about callings and identities ethnically. It's talking about spiritual status before the Lord and what one's spiritual status is when you accept Yeshua, raised with him and seated with him in heavenly places, as Ephesians 2:5 says. Now, you know, really, we understand very clearly that there are still male and female. We argue for traditional marriage. We argue that men are not supposed to nurse babies and confuse their genders. So it's not speaking about callings in this world, it's speaking about status before the Lord through Yeshua.
So when it says there's neither Jew nor Gentile, the next phrase is there's neither male nor female, but clearly there still is male nor female.
That's right.
But any human being, regardless of race, gender, ethnicity, has the freedom to receive forgiveness of sins through Yeshua Jesus, right?
Yes, and to have that high status. Even a slave has this status in the Lord that's equal to his master.
Wow. So another objection I hear is that Jewish believers, by continuing to live as Jews, they've raised back up that middle wall of partition that Paul speaks about in Ephesians 2. How do you answer that?
Well, I think there was a change with the coming of the new covenant, and the wall of partition was actually a literal barrier where the Gentile was not allowed to go into either the court of the women or the inner court in the old temple. But now, through Yeshua, a person has access into the most holy place just by putting their faith in him, seated at the right hand of the Father, where Yeshua is. That is the most holy place of all. So if that's the status of Jew and Gentile together, then we are called to have fellowship together. But that doesn't mean I'm no longer a Jew, and it should not be a barrier to our fellowship any more than male and female is a barrier to the fellowship of a husband and wife. Actually, that produces the quality of fellowship.
Right. In the same way that my wife doesn't wake up every morning and go, it's not fair that you get to be a man and you're always talking about being a man and you live as a man, that it hurts me. In the same way, if I continue to live according to my Jewish heritage, that should be a blessing as we make up the one new man together, Jew and Gentile.
It's an enrichment for the church because it provides both a context and a picture of spiritual meanings.
But what about the other nations? Don't they have meaning?
Yes, all ethnic groups have a redemptive purpose in God. And God loves cultural variety. And all nations have specific things that are good, beautiful, and true that are unique to those nations. My friend John Dawson is terrific, one of the head leaders of YWAM,
right,
in teaching that there is a redemptive purpose to every nation.
Wonderful. So every nation has a calling in the same way that every person has a calling. Friends, I want to encourage you to make sure to go to God.tv so you never miss an episode, and you can find me at roncantor.com.
Please follow Ron on Twitter and Facebook at Ron S. Cantor to find out more about Ron and his ministry. For more information on God TV and the Out of Zion programs, or to view these programs again, go to god.tv/Zion.